the highest paid people in every company stopped trading hours for paychecks. They made 5 mindset shifts nobody taught them. You show up early, stay late, hit every deadline, and somehow the person who does half the work gets promoted above you. Stings, right? The difference was never about effort. It was never about who worked harder or longer or smarter. It was about mindset, a specific way of thinking that separates people who climb from people who stay stuck. Today I am going to walk you through 5 mindset shifts that separate career employees from people who eventually run the company. The first shift is brutal in its simplicity. Stop waiting for someone to tell you what to do. Most employees see a broken process and think someone should fix that. Future CEOs see that same broken process and think I am going to fix that myself. Indra Nooyi, before she became CEO of PepsiCo, volunteered to lead a struggling division nobody wanted to touch. She did not ask permission or wait for an invitation. She saw a gap, walked straight into it, and made it her territory. That single move put her on the radar of every senior leader in the company. When you only solve problems that land on your desk, you are a task executor. When you go hunting for problems worth solving, you become the person nobody can afford to lose. Start looking at your company with the eyes of an owner, not a tenant renting a desk. Shift number 2 might sting a little, so brace yourself. Nobody cares how many hours you worked. Employees measure their contribution in time. I stayed until 8, I worked the entire weekend, I was online at midnight. CEOs measure contribution in outcomes. Revenue grew, churn dropped, the product actually shipped on time. Satya Nadella did not transform Microsoft by logging more hours than his predecessor. He transformed it by shifting the entire company's focus from Windows licensing to cloud computing. One strategic decision created more value than a million late nights ever could. A McKinsey study on executive effectiveness found that top leaders spend 60% of their time on just 2 or 3 priorities. They say no to almost everything else. If you want to think like a CEO, start asking a different question every morning. Not what do I need to get done today, but what is the single most valuable thing I can move forward right now? That filter alone will change how you spend every hour at work. Shift 3 separates managers from executives faster than anything else I have seen. You have to make decisions before you feel ready. Employees wait for all the data, every last piece of it. They want certainty and a clear right answer before they commit to anything. But real business rarely hands you that luxury wrapped in a bow. Jeff Bezos has talked about this publicly. Amazon makes most major decisions with about 70% of the information they wish they had. Wait for 90% and you have already lost your window. The market moved, your competitor shipped, and your opportunity closed while you were still building a spreadsheet. This does not mean being reckless or flipping coins on million-dollar bets. It means developing judgment, the ability to weigh incomplete evidence and commit to a direction with confidence. Start practicing this in low-stakes situations right now. Pick the restaurant for the team lunch. Choose the vendor without a third round of reviews. Make the call on project scope when your team is stuck debating. Every small decision you make builds the muscle for the big ones that actually matter. The fourth shift catches a lot of ambitious people completely off guard. Your ceiling is not your talent, it is your ability to multiply talent in the people around you. Employees obsess over their own performance reviews and personal metrics. Future CEOs obsess over making everyone around them sharper, faster, and more capable. Think about the best boss you ever had for a moment. They probably did not micromanage every detail of your work. They asked you questions that made you think differently about the problem. They gave you enough room to fail and then helped you extract the lesson from it. Mary Barra at General Motors built her reputation not by being the smartest engineer in every room she entered. She built it by developing teams that could solve problems she could not solve alone. That is real leverage and it scales infinitely. One person working 80 hours a week still only produces 80 hours of output. One person who develops 10 capable people produces 800 hours of output. The math is simple, but the ego shift required to actually do it is genuinely hard. The final shift is the one most people resist because it demands patience in a world that rewards speed. Start thinking on a longer timeline than everyone around you. Employees optimize for this quarter's bonus or this year's promotion cycle. CEOs think in 3-year arcs, 5-year visions, and decade-long strategic bets. When Reed Hastings started shifting Netflix from DVD rentals to streaming, it absolutely destroyed their short-term profits. Wall Street panicked and the stock dropped hard. Employees inside the company openly questioned the decision. But Hastings was playing a 10-year game while everyone else argued about the current quarter, and he won that bet decisively. You can apply this thinking to your own career right now. Ask yourself what skill, relationship, or project would completely transform your trajectory if you invested in it consistently for the next 3 years. Most people will never do this because the payoff is not immediate or guaranteed. That is exactly why it works, because almost nobody has the patience to play that game. So here is your one action before this week ends. Find one problem at your company that nobody currently owns and volunteer to own it. Do not wait for permission or a formal assignment. Just start working on a solution. Send a short email saying you noticed the issue, you have some initial ideas, and you would like to take a first pass at fixing it. That single act puts you in a completely different category than 99% of your coworkers. It signals ownership, initiative, and exactly the kind of thinking that gets noticed by the people who make promotion decisions. The gap between employee and CEO was never really about a title on a business card. It is a way of seeing the world and choosing to act on what you see. Start seeing it differently today, even in small ways. If this resonated with you, send it to someone in your life who needs to hear it right now. That's a wrap, thanks for watching. If this gave you one idea you can use today, hit like and subscribe. See you in the next one.